Hello everyone. This is Brian with ZimCo Survival, and I'm back again today. This time, I'm doing a review of the new Lixada gasification stove. Lixada came out with a new version a few months ago, and I purchased it. I've been using it ever since, and I absolutely love it. In my opinion, it is a huge improvement over the original version. Now, I've cooked on this thing probably 15 to 20 times now. I've had to clean it several times because it does get really dirty. And to be honest with you, the improvements that they've made on this are huge. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the stove itself. Then we're going to go ahead and set it up and fill it with sticks. I will give you a burn time on it as to how long it will burn without having to add more wood. And a boil time on it to tell you guys, how quickly it is, of course, going to boil. I'm going to use 16 ounces of water as kind of a standard measurement. So let's go ahead and get started with the actual stove itself. They do have two versions. The original, I already did a review on that, but I'm going to do a comparison video after this one of the two stoves side by side and give you guys kind of pros and cons of the both of them. But the original had these three small triangular flaps that would open that you could put things on, but it didn't hold small pots very well, and you couldn't add more wood without taking the pot off. So they made some improvements. The old one is about $17 on Amazon. This one here is $10 more. In my opinion, it's worth every penny of the $10 more. So let's go ahead and kind of get into the review a little bit. It comes with a really nice, very thick stuff sack. I don't know how thick kind of a mesh bag, but it's very nice, very thick. In all of my use on this and the old one, I have never had it tear or rip once. I've never even felt like it was a possibility. So in my opinion, the stuff sacks that these things come in are fantastic. They're something you want to keep. By far the best ones that I've ever had come with a stove like this. Very impressed with that. Next up, this is the stove itself. As you can see, it packs down much like the original Lixada, where all the components slide into each other. Now I do want to show you something. Those of you who do have alcohol stoves, in the original Lixada, it was kind of a tight fit to actually put your alcohol stove inside. But as you can see with this one, it's got plenty of room in there. Let me close these little things back up here. It's got plenty of room. Absolutely no problem at all putting an alcohol stove in there. I really like that because I like to keep everything all in one compartment, kind of pack everything as small as I can. And I like the fact this has plenty of room for my alcohol stove, and you could even put quite a bit of other stuff in here too if you really wanted to. But let's go ahead and get into the actual components of the stove. So right here, this is your base plate ring, alright? And basically I'm going to show you, kind of hold it up here and show you guys how it puts together really quick, and then I'll get in more detail when I actually go to start it up. But this is the base plate. This is the actual gasification part. This sits on top of the base plate, like that. Right here, you have your pot stand. Now, those of you who watched the original Lixada knows just how different this pot stand is versus the original. If you want to actually see it, I'll put a link in the description so you guys can take a look at the original, and you'll be able to see for yourself just how different this is. This right here is the stand that the piece goes on top of. So basically this stand sits there, and this sits on here just like this. And what you do is you just kind of snap it in like that, and that's your actual pot stand right here. Okay? And I'll get into the difference with that here in just a minute. My alcohol stove. They give you an alcohol plate. Now, one of the reviewers or the posters on one of my other videos suggested adding alcohol to this and putting it under the stove to light the wood from the bottom. You can certainly do it that way if you want to. I have tested it like that and it does work, although it leads to a very hot, very rapid burn. So you lose a lot of burn time, but you will boil water. I think it took me only a little over 2 minutes once it lit for it to actually boil water using the alcohol underneath, because of how quickly the wood burned. Put out a huge amount of heat. But then again, burning up that quickly, is it really worth the loss of burn time and potential cooking time to boil water that quickly, knowing that that stove is still going to be very, very hot and you're not going to immediately be able to pack it up. So in my opinion, I still like the top light method. That's just my opinion. Take it or leave it. This is the actual combustion chamber. Now if you look in here, you can see the dual wall construction. You can see how thick that is here. And basically you have your slits. This is where the gas comes out that the wood is creating and lights. And down here, that's the slit where the air gets sucked in to pull the smoke through the bottom of the grate. Now this right here is the combustion chamber. It comes out. You can flip it upside down for alcohol stoves and other things like that. You know, hard fuel tablets as the stand to raise it up closer to the actual pot. And if you want to use it as a wood burning, you insert it like this. It's a little bit of a tight fit, slides all the way through. Once you have that done, you just go ahead and set that like this. Alright? Then you take the lid, or the stand itself, you put it on. And then you take your pot holder, and you just snap that on like that. So that is basically how you put the stove together. Very, very simple, not at all difficult. And the benefit of this one is you have two different, well, it'll fit pretty much any size pot because it holds a small pot very, very easily because of the way this is designed. You can open this up and it gives you a huge surface area to put a large pot. So in all honesty, this thing can hold pretty much any size pot you want. I have not found one that it doesn't hold. And it holds everything very, very nice and securely because it has all three or all 4 points. Instead of your standard triangular pattern, this one's shaped like a square. So it's very, very stable. I put a little Stanley, you know, travel size thing, you know, the small 20-ounce pot. That'll sit on here, no problem, and I have no fear of it falling over if it gets bumped. It is absolutely perfectly stable. So, now that I've gone ahead and I've shown you the actual stove itself and what it looks like, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what is so much different with this collar here versus the original. And again, if you've already seen the original one, you'll know why. You'll be able to see it right now. The original stove, basically the pot holder sat like this, right up on top of the actual flame. And the problem was, because of that, you couldn't add new wood without first taking the pot off and putting it through the hole. So what they did was they added this piece and changed up the pot holder a little bit. Well, a lot. Now, the pot is raised up so you have room to feed wood into the gasification chamber as it's cooking. Now, I have successfully, now that I can do that, been able to make chicken stew, or a chicken soup, beef stew. I've been able to actually make some of those long cook time meals on this, no problem at all, thanks to that little slot there, because I'm not constantly having to remove my pot from the heat. So I really, really like the fact that this is so much more versatile than it used to be, just from those couple of changes. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the wood ready and show you guys how to load this up, and then we'll go ahead and start the testing. Be right back. And welcome back. We've gone ahead and loaded up the stove, and basically the way you do that is just kind of put all the sticks in vertically and just try to fill it up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a lighter and a cotton ball to get this lit, because the weather's starting to turn on me and I need to do this kind of quickly. So basically, I'm going to break up the cotton ball a little bit and light it. Alright, and then you just basically put your sticks on top here. Once you have the fire going really well and it starts to ignite the gasification, and basically you'll see the flames coming out from around that circle, you can go ahead and put your pot holder on, and it'll continue from there on its own. Just add more wood anytime you see it start to go out. So basically, once I have it lit and ready to go, I'll go ahead and come back to you guys, and we'll do the water boil test. Be right back. Alright, so we're back. It has reached its temperature now. So we're going to go ahead and put the pot on. Hopefully you guys can see the timer here. I'm going to start the timer and put the pot on. There we are. And now we will be back once it starts boiling. See you then. And we're back. As you can see, we have a nice rolling boil. The total time to boil was 7 minutes and, well, just about 8 minutes. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cut the video a little bit short due to the fact that we have some thunder. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but let me show you. And there you go. Hopefully you can see the clouds up there. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and finish up the video. But in my experience, this will burn for about a half an hour before you have to add more wood to it. But again, that's just in my experience. So let me go ahead, grab my chair, and we'll finish talking about it really quick before I have to run inside. Be right back. And we're back. Now, I love this stove. Like I said, I use it as my primary stove. I've even taken it out in the backyard and just cooked with it because it's fun. I've used it on all my trips, camping, went out to the lake near us and camped on one of the islands. Took that with me and used it just fine. I love that stove. In my opinion, for 30 bucks, you can't get anything better than that. It's really durable, lasts forever. It's built really, really well. I have absolutely no complaints. And like I said, the original, which is 17 bucks, still a good stove. Still an absolutely fine stove. There's nothing wrong with it. But you will have to go through the hassles of the less sturdy pot holder and the lack of the ability to add more wood without removing the pot. But other than that, 17 bucks, still a great stove. This one here, which is the upgraded version for like 29, 30, somewhere in there, is an absolutely fantastic stove. And in my opinion, it is by far the best that I have ever used. I still prefer using that over using one of those butane or propane type stoves. In my opinion, the ability to use pretty much any kind of fuel that I want in that stove, whether I have a solid fuel tablet with me or alcohol with me or wood, whatever I want to burn, all held within one single unit, is really, really cool, and I really like it. So in my opinion, 5 out of 5 stars, exceptional stove. Go ahead and pick one up. You can purchase them on Amazon. I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description. It's not an affiliate link, it's just a link to the stove, this particular version, in the description. So go ahead and click on that and pick yourselves up one. It's well worth the money. But thank you guys for watching, and as always, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. Have a good night. Bye bye.